So South by Southwest Sonic Gaming Panel has come and gone. Thank you to TSSZ for hosting it at last minute.
Yeah. And thank you, Aaron, for allowing them to film it.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, he is a good guy.
So stop giving him shit, people.
Or he'll make you eat donuts.
Or cupcakes.
Exactly, yeah, so don't mess with him.
Seriously, Aaron, I could eat more than Aaron. I can eat more than Aaron Hansen. He ate only one box.
I'm just saying,
I could top that.
I'm just saying, you really want to try that?
I really want to try that.
Oh boy, okay, well.
I guarantee I can beat him.
Well, stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, on Sonicguru, see what happens.
If he ever actually watches this.
Anyway, let's get into the thing.
Here's information rundown. We're going to get the small bits, then we got the big bits. Obviously, you know what it is because you read the title. But first of all, Sonic Mania news. One, it's been delayed till summer this year, which honestly, what else can you say about it?
Well, at least it's this year, not next year, because I think that would really miff people off.
Yeah, like Sonic Boom Fire and Ice. We're announced it. It's not coming out until a year later.
Yeah.
But it's like, but again, it's like, oh, we're holding it back because we want to fix a few things and give you a good experience. Like, fair enough. Because honestly, people demanding a game to be released right fucking now is what ruins games. There has not been a rush game out there that is actually good.
It's always the incentive that Sega is just like, get it out now, so this is the
deadline, push it out.
Exactly.
Fucked up, let's do better next time, rush it.
Lather, rinse, repeat. That's the Sonic cycle for you kids.
Yeah, it's not saying like Unleashed, they actually now not pushing anything out because of deadlines. Or Generations and Boom. Yeah.
It's funny actually that they did show a little video at the event, like here's what the developers are doing. So they showed off the main guy Chris and the guys at Dakota West just like messing around. It's like a sort of, oh hey, I'm blah blah, and we're currently really hard at work at doing Sonic Mania. So I'm hoping the official channel puts that up soon because that was quite a bit of a laugh.
Yeah, I don't know why, but Christian reminds me of the guy from the IT crowd.
Oh dear.
So that's the vibe I got.
Yeah, okay.
But aside from the delay, which again I don't mind, as long as they give us a good game, it's fine.
Yeah.
But also we were given a new zone, Flying Battery from Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Yeah, exactly. So we're given another classic zone remixed.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm surprised Flying Battery.
Me too.
It's like I'm thinking back to when they actually did the poll for the Sonic Generations, and some fucking reason Sky Sanctuary won. It's like, no, Flying Battery is much more fun. Yeah,
like you said, yeah. I mean, we were all like wondering, okay, what level would you like to see in Generations? In this case, it's like, well, maybe this is a do-over for we didn't get it in the main proper game, but here's a compilation for it. Here's your consolation prize. At least it's going to be in this 2D game.
Yeah, it's just like it's just fun trying to find, okay, what's new in this, and like, is it only, and consider it's going by Green Hill Zone, which came out last week. We didn't talk about it last week.
Act 2, yeah.
Yeah, because things got in the way, and also you were still on the iPad, which is annoying to get.
Yeah, I apologize if you ever hear me badly muffled in there. It's because I was on the iPad, so I apologize for the bad audio quality on my end. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, he's back on his computer.
Exactly. So, but yeah, like you said, I mean, part of the fun with when they bring back old levels is, okay, what are you going to do new? I mean, we sort of, ironically, we've gone through this with 4 and Gen, and it's now like, okay, do it a third time and see if you surprise us.
Yeah, and Flying Battery is just like a few new things here and there, like use a magnet shield, you get drawn up by the magnets, which is hilarious.
That's kind of fun. There's also what looks like a barrier of like old broken stuff. I mean, it's like this big barrier before the wall cracks, and it looks like it's full of old badniks and even like the signpost of Eggman that's been split in half.
Yeah, it's just that it's like a spot the difference with the levels, really.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why I enjoy it. It's bad because it's a classic level. We want to see some new. It's Mania. Let's do like Mania stuff like Studiopolis and Mirage Saloon. But no, we've got some classic levels, and we know that it's going to be 60-40 to the classics.
Yeah, like I said, it's the case. Sorry, I was going to say, like I said, it's really the case of, okay, how much of the level is going to be the same but changed up, really? That's the whole key aspect.
I think like Generations probably the only first 30 seconds if you're doing without spin dashing at all.
Yeah, exactly. That's like pretty much, yeah, that's Green Hill Zone, and then afterwards it's like, okay, this is all brand new stuff.
Yeah, this is like all 3 acts put into one.
So who knows? But at least, we got a little bit more info on Mania, which I know a lot of people are very ravenous about still.
Yeah, so we can hope like for the next one, hopefully get like a Sonic CD or a Sonic 2 level. Sonic 2, Mystic Cave. Come on. It's got to be Mystic Cave. Sonic 3D, a lot of people say Quartz Quadrant or Wacky Workbench. I prefer Quartz Quadrant.
Yeah. I have to say this. I mean, obviously, the anticipation for this whole event. I mean, I will admit, everybody was kind of getting really hyped up about, we could finally get some real news about Mania and Project Sonic and blah, blah, blah. And to be fair, the event itself was very small. I mean, it was, again, this is not like E3 or Summer of Sonic, where it's like a big deal. It's kind of more like an intimate type of couple of guys coming out and a few audience members there just saying, oh, hey, we got this thing coming out. And I do think some people are going to be a little bit pissed because what we got is not that much. We got more crumbs of information rather than big, huge, massive, like, oh my God, they've putting this into full gear type stuff.
Well, at least this year actually announced and shown off stuff compared to last year. It was just nothing.
Yeah, I mean, that was just like a sort of history of Sonic the Hedgehog, really. Just like, it was good. Then 06 happened. Yeah, we know it's a fucking joke. And then 2017. Yeah,
we got Sonic.
Yeah, exactly. I'll joke. Yeah, they actually started the event with Sonic event with the badly drawn Sonic saying, "Hello, everyone." Just like, still.
Welcome to South by Southwest. In Comic Sans on a background and text color that bleeds into it.
Yeah, exactly.
How 2002 can you get?
Well, let's be fair. They're embracing the joke, which is, well, that's how the world works in a minute. And you make one joke and it becomes a sentient thing. But that's another story.
But the main meat of this, the prime rib.
Oh yeah, just very quickly. Sorry. Just very quickly. They did show off the final collector's edition box set. Now they did manage to show that off.
Box seems just as big as Generations.
Yeah, and it does. When you turn it on, it says Sega. So
it is so adorable. I want one.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sega, please give me one, please. I will I'll do an unbox video, please.
There you go. Maybe that's how you get them.
Yeah, but the filet mignon of this. I don't know. I'm thinking a lot of steak puns right now. The prime rib of this.
Yeah, the meat of the whole conference.
Whatever your preference, unless you're vegetarian, the whole tofu.
All right, enough metaphors. Let's get on to the deal.
I'm hungry. Shut up. The Sonic Project Sonic 2017 is officially announced as Sonic Forces, and I just fucking love that logo.
I was gonna say, Mr. Logo Man, what do you think?
I love it. It's like only 3 colors: red, black, and a
yellowish gold.
Yellowish gold. I think that is striking because you look at a lot of logos that have a lot of red on them, and that draws your eye.
Yeah.
So it just looks good, and even though it's on like a 15-degree angle. It looks fantastic, and ever since the announcement, memes have popped up everywhere.
Yeah, they would do.
Sonic Forces, the fan base has remained quiet.
I was going to say I was still surprised what the name was going to be because everybody was still betting it was going to be Resistance or.
Well, considering it says Join the Resistance, a lot of people thought Resistance or Sonic. I was kind of hoping Sonic Freedom.
Right.
I was close. I got the F.
You got the F. It's just not all the other letters. Yeah, the logo for me, the only 2 things that went through my mind was, I obviously get the intent of it. It's like a sort of, spray painted like on the wall, like join the resistance, rise up against oppression type deal. But the other thing I will say, and I actually put this on my Twitter, is does the star not remind you of Ardaman's own logo?
A little bit.
Just a little bit. I mean, I'm not saying that they ripped off Ardaman, but like I said, that's the only other company I know that actually has a red star as part of their brand.
There's Rising Star Games as well, but there's kind of like a cartoony style.
Yeah, I mean, again, their ones are slightly tilted at an angle, so again, that's just me.
But I love it, the stars, the kind of paintbrush rectangles.
Yeah, like
it's great. It's great.
Yeah.
Well, and also it says a lot of people instantly connected. It's gonna be like Sonic Heroes, just with modern and classic Sonic and whoever third gameplay type. Which I'm still betting it's Boom because of exploration.
Yeah,
and also I just want to see Sonic Team's version of exploration Sonic game.
Exactly. Yeah. And outside of that, I mean, the other two things we know is one, it is still being used on the Hedgehog engine now, version 2, apparently.
Hedgehog Engine 2, which I know
Yes.
some people are going to say that's a dumb name. We got the CryEngine 3 and the Frostbite 3 or Frostbite 4.
There's some pretty
So
weird names for engines out there.
yeah,
I
and
mean,
we've got the consoles PlayStation 4.
yeah, exactly. So, you know, but again, I'm kind of glad that still. I have a feeling that they've been using it for most of the games last few years, apart from colors. Again, whether they did like a sort of.
They did and they didn't. They think they mainly used the graphic. It's basically, I think I can't remember. It was used for not only graphical quality, but also to keep a steady 50 frames per second when it goes that fast.
Yeah,
With colors, I don't think they could implement it. Maybe in the cutscenes and also in the
I was
cutscenes
going to say
of
for the cutscenes.
Generations. Even though in Generations, as soon as you load it up, it will say Havoc, which is the same
Yeah.
engine they use in
Well,
06.
Havoc's used in a lot of games anyway. It's basically just for the physics stuff, really, most of the time.
It's like a better version of Source.
Exactly. But well, like, you can argue
Oh,
about.
Source is a good engine in itself. Not knocking it. It's just
Yeah, yeah.
I think Havoc is like the it's like the alternate store brand version. It's just
Yeah.
you need to license it out to Valve, and Valve only gives it out certain properties.
No, it's funny also that they've never really mentioned the Hedgehog engine after Unleashed. They've never really, even when people ask, "Oh, is Gen running on that?" They never really answer that, did they?
Now I think they said it did, but I think it's only minutely used.
Yeah, but they have upgraded it. I mean, that's the main thing for
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, the actual gameplay looks fucking awesome.
exactly. Which we should definitely get onto that. The gameplay.
Yeah, but before this, like there was also a skip before the reveal that seemed to indicate a plot of the game. Apparently, it might take place in a world where Sonic has failed and Eggman has finally won.
Well, oh yeah, we should. All right, quickly, we should mention both Roger and Mike were there, just sort of hanging out. In fact, every time when they asked him, "So, what do you think, Roger? Why has he not got blue arms?" So he kept that running. And they did like a little sketch thing, like you said, of Eggman has supposedly controlled the world, and Sonic seemingly kind of given up and not giving a shit anymore. So it's think of it as like the awesome Mega Man skit, basically. You know, he just doesn't care anymore.
Yeah.
Um, but the other thing also mentioned out is people have been wondering about like, oh, is this going to be a dark game? Which I've taught before. It's like, it's like okay, yeah, for what we've seen of the game, which is basically a city under attack, which the first thing that popped into my mind, both that and the concept art they showed off was, oh, it's War of the Worlds, Sonic Team style.
Or it could be Crisis City came early.
Exactly. But yeah, it's just this idea is like, oh, is it going to be a dark and edgy game? It's like, dude, honestly, they've gone through that phase. They ain't going to do it again. Yes, this looks epic. Yes, this looks like, ooh, shit's going down, but it won't be edgy. In fact, they even told IGN recently, say, no, it's not going to be dark and edgy, for God's sake.
It's like it still has a more mature theme. It doesn't mean mature doesn't mean dark. Mature just means it's more serious than just, oh hey, let's do joke after joke.
Exactly.
And that's basically my problem with Sonic Lost World story. Especially the second half. It's just like gets dark and dark. It's like you can't do that and still.
Well, you say it's more like a gear shift, really. It's like it starts off as this kind of fun, oddball, almost adventure-like, storyline, and then it sort of shifts in really dramatically towards the end of the game.
Yeah, and that doesn't work. I mean, if they keep basically Sonic Colors had a better plot, even though by the same two guys, at least Sonic Colors it didn't, wasn't a complete gear shift. It still had a consistent tone.
Yeah.
This one, I hope it has the same thing, but kind of go a bit more mature in some cases, but not so much to a point where you're like, oh, death.
Yeah. Well, it's funny actually because I was watching the other day. Somebody was reviewing Ratchet and Clank Crack in Time, and particularly that kind of has like a more mature theme. I mean, Ratchet and Clank first of all is very much like a Saturday morning cartoon. It's full of jokes, puns, and all kinds of crazy things. But particularly in that game, there is a more mature theme about what happened to Ratchet's race and somebody who was involved and saving them but couldn't. And it's there, but it doesn't mess with, the kind of fun tone that this game had. So if anything, I'm more presuming that if they want the narrative for this game to work, is then obviously play out the idea of Robotnik has come back and he's invading the world. I mean, maybe the game starts out, you're in the city, and then you think, oh, he's just attacking this one thing. No, he's all over the world. He's doing this simultaneously, and the gang have to sort of retreat and figure out a way to stop him. So you can have that as the kind of mature side, but still have a fun, adventurous type of story.
It could be. I can only think of three different scenarios. actually two different scenarios. One of them, I will say three, but it's just a comparison.
Yeah.
First of all, it could be, I don't know, inspired by the ending of Sonic Chronicles.
Yeah.
That's one idea.
That'd be crafty. That would be
Yeah.
crafty for them.
Two, which is probably the more logical one, Eggman tried again with the Time Eater
Yeah, yeah.
and actually succeeded in righting his wrongs.
Yeah, exactly. Again, that's my biggest sort of.
Yeah, he and his former self somehow escaped the White Void, found the Time Eater powers, or developed a new type one, and actually went back in time. Like, okay, now the Death Egg is fully operational.
Yeah.
He has the power of Chaos, the Space Colony Arc, the power of Gaia, the power of
And he's made a bunch of sentient Death Egg robots as well.
Yeah, surprisingly, he's gone for a grey theme this time. Nothing.
Yeah, I did know this in the gameplay. It's great, although I don't know whether that's still in works because they particularly did point out saying, "What you see, remember, this is not finished yet." So
yeah, because there's a lot of elements from Generations, like the checkpoint, the zip line, and the red ring.
I was gonna actually, yeah, we should talk about the gameplay because when I saw it, in fact, a friend of mine did say, "It's like, so what do you think of Generations 2.0?" Which, yeah, I did kind of. There's a little bit of me thinking it wasn't that different, but still, what do you think?
I think it's fine. It's just I don't understand everyone else and pretty much the whole point of the fan base being ungrateful shines very much on the showcase of this gameplay. Because when Generations came out, it's like the boost formula. It's getting a bit tired, but you know what? They pushed it as far as they can. It is perfected now. Just keep doing with that. It's like it's getting boring now. Let's try something new. Then Lost World and Boom come out. Don't like it. Go back to Boost. That one worked.
I know. It's
now we're back to Generations Boost. It's like it's boring. You can't go back to this one. Do something else.
Well, the gone back
so
to the
fucking ungrateful. It's like it works. Okay, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. Like I said, I'm not criticizing it. I mean, like I said, knowing how Sonic's been the last few years, whenever they try something new, I'm more interested to see them really push new stuff instead of just relying on the old stuff over and over again. But that said,
you can improve on the old stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's the point. Isn't as long as
you play Unleash and go for then Colors, then Generations, the boost formula has evolved. Is it the same? Yeah, fundamentally it's the same, but it's not wholly relied upon like Unleash.
No. It's been refined over the years. So again, I'm totally down with the fact that they're doing this again, and it will be just as fun as it was before.
And not only that, it's only just one of the gameplay styles. We've got three.
Yeah, we got this. We get to know what class it's going to look like, and whatever the third playable character. But actually, I want to bring this up quickly. That I was talking to my friend James, not Jaime 2 James. I want to make that clear. It's We Ramble James. That's what we'll be referred to as. Don't kill me, please, if he's listening to this. I was talking to him about this, and particularly I told him what he thought about it, and a couple of concerns he had is one, the fact Mania's been delayed until summer, which his only fear is like, what if it comes out at the same time as Crash? I mean, you're going to have a pretty big competitor there, and I kind of see why. And also considering that Forces are coming out until holiday, which could be November, December time. What if that ends up going against Mario Odyssey? So there is that fear of Sega releasing it. Again, keeping the time for development, but they end up releasing it against another big, huge anticipated game.
Well, if it gets released in the summer, I think Mania will be released in August. But as far as Force has been released, it's always been a November time.
Yeah,
always. And even so, you can't really blame Sega or any other publisher out there who wants to release a game close to Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, the end of the time that's ever really happened, like I think was it Black Knight came out the same. Right next to Resi 5, wasn't it? That was the last time that sort of really.
Yeah, I think it's spin-offs always get released on during the first quarter. Like I remember Secret Rings coming out in March of 2007.
Yeah,
I bought and I should know that I bought it on release day.
Exactly. Yeah.
But every other main Sonic title has been released at least just before the holiday season, where people actually are starting to pick up all the Christmas stuff in ahead of time.
Yeah.
Mind you, considering it's retail, all the Christmas stuff comes out just before September.
Yeah, that's true.
You might as well just pull it all year and just have Christmas stuff all year round. That way, people can still buy stuff on New Year's Day.
Yeah.
Please don't fucking do that.
Yeah, well, that's business for you. Anyway, so he had that concern. The other one is obviously it was funny. I was talking to him and he said he enjoyed Generations, but he felt classic Sonic in terms of little bit of the physics. I think you particularly say the way when you go up a pint, if you go up an uphill and you land, never quite worked for him or something. So he said, I hope that gets refined a little bit more. But the other thing,
there on Generations on PC, there is a fix for that. It's called fix Generations Forever. Which honestly, it's kind of Sonic feels okay. Modern Sonic just fucking no.
Yeah, well, modern Sonic's okay as it is. We don't need any more modders. Yeah, so there's that. But the other thing particularly was talking to him saying that, do you still think Boom Sonic's going to be in this, again, as exploration gameplay stuff? And he said, like, yeah, it'd be good. I mean, as long as they have the time to figure out what they want to do with it, obviously. But funny enough, he did point out this as kind of a fun thing. He did say, well, think about it. We don't know who this other character is. It could be a hero. It could be a villain. And particularly said, what if it's Metal Sonic?
That's a good point.
And that's actually one thing. Has Metal Sonic ever been playable as a fully 3D character in any of the big 3D games?
Not included in Unlockables?
No, not including Unlockables, no.
No.
No. And again, it's like, he's got a point. I mean, that's something you could do with him. I mean, he can definitely have a different playstyle from the rest of the group. He particularly say, well, he can use his laser to like solve puzzles or defeat enemies and all that stuff. It's like, yeah, you can build whole things around that.
But another someone actually brought up on the Sonic the Hedgehog Facebook group that what if it's a custom character you create like Dragon Ball Z, like Dragon Ball Xenoverse? For fuck's sake. I was gonna say Raging Blaster, but that's an old game.
All right.
But Xenoverse.
It depends what they mean by custom character. Is this just basically take the bits and bobs of every other character in the game and make your own one? So essentially, it's they're literally making a fan character system in the. Oh god. Oh dear. Oh no. That's a dark place to go down in my brain.
Xenos the Hedgehog. It's Sonic spelled backwards.
Oh dear. Oh god. No.
I hope people will be tasteful about it. Don't just give Cream Rabbit's head with Rouge's body. Don't.
Yeah, please don't. Oh, please. For God's sakes, no.
I think that already exists anyway.
The only other thing I would say, instead of that, I would still keep like the skill list thing again, because that's the thing I think in Generations that I would love that to be a permanent thing in the later games now. Because again, that's a great way of incentive of, you can play through the game and, time trials and all that stuff, which is every game has that these days. But having that allows you to experiment with the levels more now. So instead of just, playing, because again, Sonic's the only playable character in this, because it's apparently the gang are, once again, non-playable characters. But again,
which is complete pisser anyway. It's just like, you got several games now, people want to play as these other characters, let us play as the other fucking characters.
Again, their excuse would have been, well, we did it in Boom and everybody hated us for that.
No, people hate it in Boom because it was barely any difference between any of the other characters. The only one you'll multiplayer as is Sonic, and even then, it's like only a couple of times you use the other characters, and that's just use their special just for a one-time thing, and back to Sonic.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like I said, the skill list, I want that back in for Forces, because again, I think that's a lot of fun you could do, replayability. But yeah, the idea of having the characters, once again, we do know that what they have said is like Amy, Knuckles, and Chaotix are going to be in here, and apparently they're going to communicate you through a radio, so part of it is thinking of...
Yeah, telling them about their situation.
Yeah,
but it's a thing though, Sega. Why the hell can't we play as them in their situation? and if we can, if the idea actually comes across your freaking skull that maybe people actually want to play as Team Rose, Team Dark, or Team Chaotix, or Team whatever. When they want to play as them, here's an idea: have it as downloadable content.
That's true. I would definitely I would hope Sonic Team have thought about that.
The same way you kind of quote unquote promise DLC of new zones in Sonic Generations.
Yeah, well, that never happened, did it? Yeah, that kind of was pushed under the rug. But now, particularly the two things with this whole contacting your characters thing is like there's two things that went through my mind. One, don't let this end up being like Generations' final boss where they just won't shut the fuck up. Don't let have that happen. And second, if this does work like that, so are we going to get like a Bioshock style thing where you'll be playing with the level and immediately there'll be a radio contact as through halfway levels? Or particularly, one thing I thought was that you can use them to tell you about tutorials. That would be a good use for them.
Or teach you a new skill.
Exactly, yeah. So at least you got a reason for them to be in the game, regardless if you
All,
can't
all I
play.
think, all I'm thinking of as well is like in Spyro Year of the Dragon, they could, maybe one or two of them can help out certain during points of the boss battles.
So like a sort of, basically tag team, a company mission. Basically they'll be with you for a certain level. I mean, that could be good. I mean, I would like to see that, as long as we don't have to, fucking protect them or any of
It's
that
like,
sort of shit.
I'm getting hit. Sonic, save me. Need rings. Go fuck yourself. You're the
Yeah,
ultimate
please
light
don't
arm.
do that. Please don't do that, please. I mean, if there's one thing that people hate is their escort missions, and particularly if you have to manage their own goddamn health when you're barely doing your own. So please don't do that.
Why is it Resident Evil 6 is the only one that actually did it right?
Well, let's be fair. What else did that game do right?
Oh, sorry. Bioshock. Resident Evil 6. Sorry, I forgot a complete blank on Bioshock Infinite.
You almost gave Resident Evil 6 a...
No, the thing is, though, Resident Evil 6, I didn't have to manage their fucking health. I remember not remember. I like the partner system is probably the best partner system since Resident Evil 4 is like, oh, you have to protect her and escort her around. Yeah. But at least she has the ability to duck when being aimed at, hide behind Leon, or go into a fucking trash can.
Yeah, exactly.
Resident Evil 5, you still have to manage her fucking health, and except she was dumb as fuck. But at least you can play two-player co-op, which is probably the only way to play Resident Evil 5. Resident Evil 6, you don't have to manage their health, and they could support on their own.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bioshock Infinite, the best fucking escort, because you're not escorting, because she leads the way most of the time.
Yeah, although some people pointed out saying,
she's escorting you.
That's true. Though you could make a counter-argument saying that, well, technically, if she's no use in battle, what's the point of her having there in the first place outside of the plot? If you got rid of the plot, then whatever. But again, that's a whole other story.
At least she actually gives you ammo and health when you need it, even though sometimes I'm like, here's salt. I don't need salt. I need ammo for my shotgun.
So there we go. Just try not to do that, Sonic Team. I mean, if you can find a way of putting the characters in, great. That's fine. I mean, I like, it'd be nice to have them around. Just please don't make them enforced on us, or we have to protect the bastards, all right?
Yeah. Furthermore, which is pretty much, this is something that I'm completely differed on. The Wisps have been confirmed for forces.
Yeah, the apparent, from the look of it, they seem to be the boost gauge again.
Yeah, right. In the gameplay trailer, you see capsules from colors, and it's the white wisps for the boost. Yeah. Which, if it's just the white wisp for the boost, which actually limits your boost, which you actually mentioned, fair enough. If it's just that, it means we're focusing more on what's coming rather than scared. Hold, dodge,
hold X to win type deal.
Yeah. Oh, hold boost to win.
Yeah, I mean, I still prefer the, collecting ring system from Gen. I mean, that's just me, because again, at least I have it there.
The thing about Generations, everything gave you boost. Rings gave you boost. Tricks give you boost. Enemies gave you boost.
Yeah.
Checkpoints gave you boost.
Yeah.
In Colors, it was just the wisp, and in Unleashed, it was just the rings. If it's just rings, fine.
Yeah.
If it's white wisp, it's a bit more restrictive, but fine. Generations is boost everywhere.
Yeah, but as you said, the one problem you've had is basically that they were okay in colors because there was center around them, but in Lost World they were just there. They were literally just a gameplay.
And it wasn't until Runners that it was announced. Oh yeah, the Wisps are here now because they enjoyed this planet so much.
Yeah, but that's kind of
why the hell did it look like Lost Hex?
Yeah, well, to be fair though, that's basically saying wait for another game to tell you what happened in the last game. It's like that's not good storytelling. That's just stupid. And
the thing about Lost World is just. And I ranted this, it's basically Lost World is all about the parkour. It tries showing parkour, you can jump, you can run, you can actually grab the ledges and grab back on when you fall off. Great.
Good.
We've got 6 new Wisps, you want to try it? Want to play it? Oh, by the way, the split between 2 games, but we've got 6 new Wisps. You want to play as we're all living to a bomb that actually is completely invincible? Go ahead, we've got a bomb for you.
Bomb 1, music note 1, a flying 1, eagle 1.
Music note, a rolling rock and lightning.
Yeah, and asteroid as well. That was
asteroid is probably the only decent one out of the whole new lot.
Yeah,
because it's just like an evolution of Void.
Yeah, like I think again, like I was talking to James and even with you, is like the problem with the Wisps is that they sort of just relying on them as now like they're the power up.
They're the new crutch.
Yeah, exactly.
And someone find out, like, what about Classic Sonic? They're a crutch as well. But in Classic Sonic's case, it was 2 gameplay styles. It wasn't a crutch for the game. It was basically the whole point. In Generations, the Wisps are only there for 1 level. I guess 2 if you want to count the axe. and it was just one wisp, Rocket and Spike.
Yeah.
In Lost World, they were like the second focus. They were the crutch of the gameplay. It's like, oh, the power grid's not going to last for the entire 6 hours.
I mean,
let's bring them back.
The only time you really use them is to either get past, basically like you go from one part of a level to another. That's most of the time you use them.
In the level of Desert Ruins, you use the Eagle, and you can only use that just to get a red ring. You don't fucking need to use the wisps.
Which is a shame because of the like the flying.
There's only like 2 levels in the entire game that require you to use wisps. In the 3DS, it's every other level requiring you to use wisps. Even on the Xena boss fight, it requires you to use the Ivory Lightning. That was a pain in the ass.
Bet it was.
The wisps aren't necessary. They're basically a crutch to keep the gameplay along in order to actually a bit of freshness.
I think, again, it's to do with the fact that people go on about Colors being the one good 3D Sonic game and always dismissing Unleashed and saying, well, that's the shit one still. It's like, really, Colors only exist because Unleashed happened, and quite frankly, it's... I think a little bit...
I will say this, Unleashed is better than Colors.
I've said this before, like, the difference really is I think Unleashed, from all aspects, is technically a much better game than most people give it credit for, and arguably is, in many ways, I think, is a bigger step than people give as well, than anybody gives it credit. But I will say this:
people just dismiss it because of the Werehog. And then again, the Werehog is one half of the game.
No, it's not that. No, it's not just that. I mean, I think the crucial difference is that in Colors, it's a much simpler, go from this act to this act type deal, and you can get the rings for whatever. But in Unleashed, it's more of a, again, RPG thing, as in you start off narratively, go from one thing, cutscene, then you've got to go and get the Sun and Moon levels, and that's basically the whole, just padding out the game for the sake of padding it out. So I will say that...
Unleashed basically, to me, is adventure-free.
Yeah, so I will say that playing through Unleashed from beginning to end is not that much fun, compared to, say, for most people, Colors, for me, it's Gen. But yeah, I think that's part of the reason, at least to some.
That and the where people just don't like it because it's...
Yeah, it's like, I mean, the elephant in the room, we know about the elephant in the room is staring right fucking at us.
But again, if it's just white wisps and no new wisps, absolutely no. We got fucking... How many have got? We got 12. Probably 4... probably... I think there was like...
Are we going by console and handhelds?
I'm trying to remember.
Okay, this is going to be fun.
Okay, I'm trying to remember. You had 6 new ones in Lost World.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 9 of them in the original, so 6 plus 9. 6 plus 9, there you go.
Yeah.
15. Got 15 wisps. 15!
Oh, boy.
You don't fucking need any more.
Yeah, well, I can't. Like I said, it's... Keep it to a bare minimum, guys. And if you want, try and put at least a reason why they're there again, so...
How about you don't, okay? We don't need drill, we don't need laser, we don't need cube, asteroid, lightning, eagle, spike, rocket, red burst, frenzy, void.
Unless you put them in the skill list just for shits and giggles, then maybe you can get away with it.
Fine, that's the only way.
There you go.
Or a bonus world. Like
exactly.
Planet Wisp bonus world. Exactly. DLC probably, but not in the main game. Don't have them as a crutch. You have 3 gameplay styles that'll keep people interested. That's called variety. You didn't need a crutch for Generations because it was 2 gameplay styles, and it was a short game.
And it was banking on a hell of a lot of nostalgia as well. So
you don't need Wisps as a crutch anymore. You can live without it.
Yeah, exactly. We can move on. Speaking of which, we should move on to the last thing that sort of showed off / announced is the theme tune, actually, of the game.
Sounds like Crush 40. Please be Crush 40. Please be Crush 40. Even though, sadly, Jun Senoi is not part of the sound team.
Yeah. Again, I think he'll probably do a song for this game. I'm guessing. I mean, when was the last song, actually, Crush 40 did? The last new major, theme song or track they've done for any of the games?
Not counting remixes, I think it was still Night of the Wind.
Right.
Official no remix or covers. It was Black Knight. Okay.
Right. I think they could be in there. Maybe again, who knows? Maybe maybe it's a bonus you can unlock in the game. That'd be fun. I will say the theme tune for this, actually, the 2 things that went through my mind is that it kind of felt like what happens when you put Crisis City and Root of Rome together.
Pretty much.
I mean, it's kind of got that, it's obviously got that epic, dangerous thing going on, but it's got a very heroic feel, like rushing through a city type. So, yeah, I like the sound of it. I'm going to be interested to see what the actual song's going to be.
Yeah, a lot of people are doing their own lyrics already, and people have suggested making a visual music video about it, and all I could think of, I could do that, but at the same time, I don't want to because it'll take too long.
Yeah.
Editing is not my favorite thing making videos, but I
Yeah.
still push through.
Yeah, I do think it was good that they actually, like I said, most of the stuff we knew about the event, they did upload it on their channel, even the theme song, which it's again, they never really done something like that before. Because again, it's not
No.
finished yet.
I think it's about the Sonic channel as well. Is that like 5 minutes after the flying battery trailer was shown off, it was instantly on the channel.
Yeah, he said it's on right now. Yeah. So again, it's kind of interesting. Again, they're starting to open up a little bit more, maybe the development sort of side of how they make the games, which again, I totally love to see that because hell, Breath of the Wild had like 3 dev videos about like, oh, when we started, it was going to be this, that, and put aliens in the middle of Zelda's world. But yeah, I like to see more of that, particularly if they're going to do these type of deals. They should try and show out a bit more like, this is how we did, and it's for you guys, let's be fair, and hopefully for industry if they don't shit upon us.
They will, because people are biased and will put a bad Sonic game higher than any other bad games in the world because I don't like Sonic anymore.
I don't know, that's what they say. Yeah, but generally speaking, I think this was still... The attitude coming out of this was like, there's still a lot of goodwill going into these 2 games.
Yeah, they're putting effort.
Exactly, and that's the one thing we can at least say that they're always trying to do with these games now, is that they're putting the effort in now.
Yeah, I think so, and also some people are basically still dissing Sonic Team for going back and forth between your generations. You got Lost World, and then you put in Generations again. Lost World developed by the same team and made Black Knight.
Well, like I said, they literally put out a thing saying the team that brought you Colors Gen, all right? There's sort of different groups.
Not Lost World, because that was Sonic Team B.
Yeah.
Sonic Team A developed all the good stuff. Sonic Team B developed all the mediocre stuff.
As I said before, is like I do think the way they work now is they'll probably do the whole thing of they'll do a main game which will be designed to please the mass audience, and then they'll do something like Lost World, which is like, let's experiment, and hopefully we're not going to get our heads kicked in. Which
it's actually more experiment. I think the main series is less experiment. It's just we've got a system, let's refine it. Whereas the B team is basically going, we've got a new idea, let's test it out.
Exactly, yeah. And I give Lost World this credit at least, for a game that is essentially let's put Sonic on the planet, basically. It's well made. I mean, it's a well-made game for what it is, and I'd rather have a well-made game that's decent enough than just something that's ambitious but is ultimately flawed.
And the last little update, which happened today, Shun Nakamura on Sonic Force's story, quote, "The world was conquered by Eggman, so what was Sonic doing till then?" And that's a good question. It's like, I don't think he was on vacation.
I was going to say sitting his ass eating chili dogs and just watching the TV and just seeing the world getting destroyed. If it's Boom Sonic, I mean, I can totally imagine Boom Sonic just not giving a crap.
All I can think of it, maybe I can only think of the plot being a bit like Days of Future Past.
Like you said, yeah, maybe again it's the whole he's done it again, but this time he's actually got his dream of world domination right. So I'm looking forward to Sonic Forces. Like any other Sonic game, I'm looking forward to it. Even though Lost World, I had the least expectations for it. Because I played it some of Sonic, and you heard me go, it's not really that good. Yeah, I mean, I've had it since I got my Wii U, and again, like I said, it's a fine functioning game, not a revolution, but hey, at least it's not a devastation.
So if there's going to be anything like Generations, you can get all your hype is pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah, you're going to get your nostalgia on, kids. I mean, you got already one that's going to crux that whole thing in summer, and then this one's probably going to be the send-off for this year.
So, are you looking for? Is anyone, comment below if you're looking forward to Sonic Forces, and if there's any like stuff you're not too sure about. Let us know. Because honestly, I can't wait. It's going to be a really good year.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's really going to be an interesting year. Yeah. Though, like I said, last thing is I did talk to James. Ramble James, and I did say, isn't it weird that this year we're going to see Sonic and Crash somewhat competing with each other? I mean, who would have thought that would ever happen? Strange time, kids. Strange times.